Hello, everyone. Today I'm sharing with you what are the key points of cross-border e-commerce store design. This is a problem many sellers only gradually realize after actually starting cross-border e-commerce. We can't just follow the domestic model anymore, because you'll find the page is done, the images are good, and the content is plentiful, but overseas users don't understand it, can't stop browsing, and aren't very willing to trust you. This isn't because your design skills are bad, but because the key points of cross-border e-commerce store design are completely different from those of domestic platforms. Below, I won't talk about design techniques, but rather, I'll explain the real key points of cross-border e-commerce store design from three perspectives: cross-border users, platform logic, and the actual conversion path. First, the conclusion. The core of cross-border e-commerce store design is not display, but reducing uncertainty. This is the fundamental premise of all cross-border store design logic. Domestic e-commerce users are very familiar with platform rules, knowing how to return goods, how to protect their rights, and how to compare prices. But when cross-border users encounter you, they often have several layers of hidden worries. Are you reliable? Will the product be a dud? How easy is it to resolve problems? The primary goal of cross-border e-commerce product design is not attraction, but eliminating uncertainty. 2. The first key point of cross-border e-commerce product design: clarity to the point of no guessing required. This is the most amplified point in the cross-border scenario. Many domestic sellers are accustomed to writing selling points in a very general way, relying on users to understand them themselves, using feeling-based expressions. But in the cross-border scenario, these become problems. Cross-border users need more. What are you selling? Very specifically. What problem does it solve? What usage scenarios is it suitable for? If users need to guess or have to piece together the logic themselves across multiple screens, they will most likely give up immediately. In cross-border product design, clarity always takes precedence over aesthetics. Third, the second key point: information must be hard, not eloquent. This is a very clear dividing line between cross-border e-commerce and domestic platforms. Domestic e-commerce pages commonly feature atmosphere, emotional keywords, brand attitude. However, in cross-border scenarios, users trust more: parameters, specifications, usage methods, comparison information. They care more about what exactly is it, how does it work, is it suitable for me? Cross-border e-commerce page design is essentially about rational persuasion, not emotional appeal. Fourth, the third key point: reduce cultural understanding costs, not translating Chinese logic. This is a point many cross-border sellers easily overlook. One of the biggest problems with cross-border page design is the text is translated into English, but the logic remains Chinese. For example, the order of expression is convoluted. Selling points are laid out before being revealed. Reliance on hints and context. But for overseas users, information should be given directly. They are more accustomed to giving the conclusion first, then the explanation, and finally, supplementary information. Cross-border page design is not language conversion, but a shift in mindset. Fifth, the fourth key point: trust information should be presented up front, not hidden at the back. On domestic platforms, users already have a foundation of trust in the platform itself. However, in cross-border e-commerce, trust often needs to be built by yourself. Therefore, in your page design, you need to clearly convey whether there are genuine reviews, whether there are clear after-sales service methods, whether there is clear brand-seller information, instead of placing these elements at the bottom as supplementary explanations or omitting them entirely. For cross-border users, not seeing trust information is itself a risk signal. Sixth, the fifth key point: The structure must have a shortest path. This is a crucial point in cross-border conversion. Many domestic sellers are accustomed to laying out information layer by layer, explaining it section by section, hoping users will slowly understand. But cross-border users generally have shorter browsing patience. If the page has overly long paths, important information placed too late, or information jumping back and forth, conversion rates will often drop significantly. Cross-border e-commerce page design is more like designing the shortest decision-making path. 7. Sixth key point. The role of visuals is to aid understanding, not create amazement. In cross-border e-commerce, the correct role of visuals is to aid understanding, to aid differentiation, to aid comparison, not to pursue a sense of design, emphasis on individuality, create complex styles. Many best-selling cross-border e-commerce product pages look ordinary, but they all have one thing in common. The product and its purpose are immediately understandable. In cross-border e-commerce, understandability is itself a competitive advantage. Seventh key point. Leave room for repeat purchases and series purchases. Cross-border e-commerce costs are usually higher, and a single transaction is often not enough. Therefore, in designing your store, you need to consider whether it's easy for users to understand your product line, whether different models can be quickly distinguished, whether it facilitates repeat purchases. If the design only serves this one order and ignores long-term value, overall efficiency will be lowered. 9. Why do many cross-border stores look simple yet sell very well? The reason is not complicated. Because they did one thing right, they removed all unnecessary expressions, leaving only essential information, essential explanations, essential points of trust. In cross-border e-commerce, restraint is often more important than design. A practical piece of advice for cross-border sellers: if you're designing your cross-border e-commerce store, always remember this. Don't ask, "Does it look good?" but repeatedly ask, "Is it easy to understand?" Every piece of unnecessary content you remove helps users make a decision faster. In short, the key to cross-border e-commerce store design is not how professional it looks, but making unfamiliar users feel less uneasy. When your design achieves clarity, directness, trustworthiness, short path, it's already truly serving conversion.